Clearing close in the forest you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and oh my goodness, I did not intend in the slightest to wait this long to come back from 31 Days of Halloween. I mean, I did post a video since then, but I haven't been consistent and I haven't been on here as much as I would like to. And that is because I have been so busy trying to perfect the audio here in my filming room and create a new background. I knew 100% that I loved the lights and the fairy lights behind me in my background, but then at the same time, a big part of me did miss the homey feel of my very first ever background here on YouTube. So I decided to kind of combine the two of them to make a magical feeling background with still a homey vibe. We've got some candles lit and it just feels very homey to me. So make sure to drop your comments down below and let me know what you guys think of this new background. It's still a work in progress, and also let me know what you guys think of the audio, because I have this room covered in sound absorbing foam and I got a new microphone. So hopefully I have fixed those two issues and I really hope that you guys enjoy it. But nonetheless, comment down below letting me know what you guys all think of this. For today's video, we are going to be diving into the deep and the dark web, what exactly it is or they are, what it's used for, what you can find on there, and why you should probably avoid it. I'm sure you guys have seen the trend on YouTube where people were purchasing these mystery boxes from the deep and dark web, and some of them were terrifying. I definitely went through and watched a bunch of these different videos and tried to figure out and decipher which were real and which ones maybe were made up or not truly from the dark web, but nonetheless, it was really, really freaky, and it kind of led me back to the main question as to why the dark web became what it is and what the dark web really and truly consists of. So that is what we are diving into today. This is pretty spooky stuff. We're going to be talking a little bit about some darker subject matter and some triggering things that occur on the dark web and out in the world. So just proceed throughout this video with caution, but that is it for my long intro. Let's dive into this because there's a lot that I want to say and there's a lot that we need to cover. So the dark web is essentially a part of the internet that isn't available or visible to search engines and actually requires an anonymizing browser called Tor to be accessed. So we as normal users of the internet aren't able to search the dark web, aren't able to find it unless we have this anonymizing browser called Tor. And even still, with this specific browser, it's still hard to find these certain areas that we're about to dive into on the dark web. But let's just continue. This space on the internet is messy, it's confusing, there's a lot of different dark subject matter, there's a lot of scams, and I guess that is really to be expected when you're utilizing a part of the internet where everybody who's accessing it is anonymous. The Tor browser actually routes your web page requests through a series of proxy servers, which are operated by thousands of volunteers across the world, making your web IP address completely untraceable and unidentifiable. Instead of ending in .com or .co, which we see with a lot of the different websites that we utilize, the dark web actually ends in .onion. Dark web websites actually also use a scrambled naming structure that actually will create URLs that are nearly impossible to remember or recreate. So meaning if I was on a specific website and I got off of it or got kicked from it, it would be very difficult for me to actually remember that specific URL and that specific website to report it to authorities or whatever the case may be, because they use these scrambled URLs that just don't make any sense and you would never be able to memorize without an incredible memory. Now, many dark web websites are actually created by scammers who will move to different sites and different areas of the dark web to avoid the wrath of their victims. This means that they will utilize sales with people, perhaps for drugs or whatever the case may be, and the people never receive the items in which they purchased, but the scammer moves to a different area under a different name and continues to resell, because this is all anonymous, you have to remember. So it's very, very difficult for the purchaser to make purchases from individuals and know whether or not they're really truly going to receive that item. Now, the part of the internet in which we utilize is referred to by many as the surface web. But what's crazy about this is the internet that we use day to day, meaning YouTube and Facebook and Google and emails and all of that, only makes up less than 5% of the internet's usage, which means that there is 95% more internet out there. That's such improper grammar, but there's 95% more to the internet than we have ever and probably will ever know of or touch. Many people, including Shane Dawson, have actually referenced the dark web as an iceberg. And the part of the internet which we use would be the tip and the peak of the iceberg. The lower you go, you get into the deep web, and the deeper and deeper you go, you get into the dark web. The dark web is where absolutely horrifying and terrifying things occur and take place. Now, law enforcement is actually getting better at prosecuting those involved in certain dark websites that sell drugs in particular. And with that being said as well, many of these drugs and illegal items do need to cross international borders. So you may order something off of the deep or the dark web that you want to get to you, such as drugs or a gun, but they're cracking down on suspicious packaging and suspicious senders, and you may never actually receive that item. So law enforcement and border patrols really are trying to crack down on catching these people who are creating these URLs to sell these illegal items. Now, Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency which allows two parties to make a trusted transaction anonymously, meaning that the buyer and the seller are completely anonymous, and Bitcoin is the middleman to ensure that people are getting the payments that they need, has made all of this easier. And it's actually said that the dark web is a big reason why Bitcoin had so much success, and Bitcoin is also a big reason why the dark web has so much success. So the two really go hand in hand. Now, dark websites actually have a lot of the same features that we would have on a website where we're making purchases, meaning there's reviews, there's ratings, there's shopping carts, there's forums, and there's trusted websites and trusted sellers. However, due to the fact that every single thing going on in the dark web is completely anonymous, these reviews are difficult to know whether or not it is a true review or it's a scam review. And that's why so many people have difficulty in making these purchases on the dark web, because they never know if what they are getting or the reviews that they've read on it is accurate and overall just an accurate representation of the seller. Now, not everything on the dark web is illegal, and not everybody who utilizes the dark web utilizes it for the terrifying things that we're about to get into in a minute. In fact, many people will utilize Tor in areas and countries where internet access is criminalized, or they don't have freedom of speech, and to be able to utilize the internet anonymously and say what they want to say, it really helps them in a lot of ways. So it's not all illegal activity happening on the internet, but I thought that we would dive into why the dark web is so dangerous and the types of forums you could stumble across if you really found your way to the dark web. A lot of drug trafficking is done through the dark web, and a lot of drug sales are done through the dark web, including drugs that are highly dangerous, such as fentanyl. With that being said, there's also illegal guns being sold, fake passports being sold, and for around $45,000 to $185,000, supposedly you are able to hire a hitman to kill somebody or to paralyze / attack and beat them, which is crazy, and obviously we can't prove that, because in order to prove that, you would have to make a purchase and see what happened, and that is just a horrifying thought, but it is believed you could pay for it and hire a hitman. Even more terrifying, on the dark web, supposedly you can purchase human leather products. A pair of human leather shoes retails for like $14,000, and getting even darker, there are supposed cannibal sites where people who want to be eaten and people who want to eat humans will meet. Actually, there was a supposed forum called Cannibal Cafe, which has since been shut down, but it was essentially a place, kind of like a dating website, for individuals who wanted to be eaten to meet individuals who wanted to eat and feast amongst each other. There's even supposed forums where they explain how to cook human meat and season it perfectly, which just gives me chills every single time that I think about that. But getting even darker, there are videos of people being killed. There are videos of animal abuse. Supposedly, there are videos of alleged doctors or medical practitioners, or those who are interested in it, performing really inhumane and illegal experiments on unwilling individuals, such as pain tolerance test, starvation, and supposedly these things are even done on pregnant women and children. Then it is said that they dispose of the bodies in the garbage bins of butcher shops where they will never be discovered, which is horrifying. And for somebody like you and I, if you were to be on the dark web and you stumble across something like this, it's terrifying and it's traumatizing and it's disgusting, and it's very, very difficult to get legal action placed upon these things because so many individuals will move URLs and move sites daily and disappear before any tracing can be done, seen as they are anonymous URLs and anonymous IP addresses. Supposedly, some people even charge $10,000 for people to watch children and individuals being abused. So I think it's very clear, and I'm so uncomfortable to say that there's certain aspects of the dark web that are just horrifying and you would most certainly not want to stumble across. This is anonymous places for the most dark, sick, and twisted individuals to express themselves. Sorry, angels, my camera just decided to go ahead and die because I didn't charge her before I started filming. So that was my mistake. But as I was concluding there with is we're putting a ton of people into a space on the internet where they are able to anonymously and for a lot of them without consequences express what they want to express and say what they want to say and show what they want to show and be a part of communities that they choose. And that within itself is a very dangerous thing because when you combine a bunch of different people in one space where there is no repercussions in a sense and there is an anonymous sense to it, it is a very, very dangerous combination. Like I had said, not everybody who utilizes Tor or utilizes the dark or deep web or browses there is browsing there for horrifying things or browsing there for illegal activity. There are people who have real reasons to utilize Tor, to utilize this part of the internet, and not everything on the deep or dark web is terrifying or traumatic. But with that being said, there are a ton of terrifying aspects of the deep and the dark web, and it's just not something that somebody who doesn't know what they're doing should dabble in. Well, angels, that is it for today's video. I've wanted to cover this for the longest time now, and so I figured what better video to come back getting on track of daily uploads than this one. Have any of you guys browsed the deep or dark web? Do you know anybody who has? Make sure to drop all of your comments surrounding the subject matter down below. Also, don't forget to let me know what you guys think of the new audio and the new background. I love it. Like I said, still a little bit of a work in progress, but I'm really, really happy with the direction that we're heading, and I am so excited for the content that I have coming up here on my channel. So make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button if you have not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it because it makes my heart super, super happy when you guys do that. And I just love to see that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm creating because it just means the world to me. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.